Hello Stampers, it's Brandy Cox here with Brandy's Cards. I hope that you are enjoying the holiday season. It has been really busy here as we prepare for family and for Christmas and so forth. So it has been awesome and I hope that you have enjoyed it as well. So how about a last minute Christmas card? I know some of you out there are thinking, oh my gosh, I haven't made my Christmas cards yet, and I haven't decided what type of holiday card I want to create. I've got the perfect card for you. So this card I created with the Regal Reindeer stamp set. So I created this card for my customers for their host code card. And I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun to make. And I thought, you know what? This would be the perfect card to share with y'all. So I'm going to do that today. We're going to start out, I'm going to show you exactly the process that I use to create the cards for my customers, family, and friends in hopes that it will help you in your card making and making multiples too. Now, before I get started, I'm going to remind you, it's not about how fast I'm doing it. That is not what this is about. It's about how to do it and to make multiple cards and kind of think through the process, right? A lot of times we make one card and then we're like, shoot, what were the sizes, the dimensions, or I wish I had a picture of that card so I could go back, right? So this will be a really kind of a fun process to show you exactly how I do this. So without further ado, I'm super excited. I want to come over and get started. Okay, so here is the Regal Reindeer. So of course this stamp set does come, it does have a coordinating set of dies as well, but we're not going to use those today. We're going to keep it simple. And so sometimes simple and elegant is the best. So this is the card we're going to create today. And I just loved it. And I've received so many phone calls and emails and text messages that you've enjoyed it too. So I'm going to show you exactly how I created this card today. So first off, you're going to need some basic white, of course some soft succulent, this is evening evergreen, real red, and then some white. I did use a craft piece across for that sentiment. Okay, so are you ready? Are we going to get this, get our party started? I'd say let's do this, okay? So first off, I have got all of my parts and pieces ready to go for you. So I've already cut and scored my card bases, and when I do these, I actually kind of tuck it under my shirt, my tummy right here a little bit. I just find it kind of keeps everything nice and you know, kind of puts it all right here together. So I'm just folding these. If you have a bone folder, of course, you can burnish those edges. What I find is that with this basic white thick, as long as you've scored it well, I find that it actually kind of settles down and goes flat quite easily. So there's my 10 card bases. I've got a piece of scrap paper here. The only ink that I'm going to use today is Evening Evergreen. That's right, you may have looked at the card and thought, okay, did she use two different colors? No, I just used Evening Evergreen. So I have my Evening Evergreen here. I also have Soft Succulent. The Soft Succulent is going to, it's going to be the layer that's going to go right here on the top of my card. And that's going to be cut at 5 1/4 by 4. All right. So I've already mounted the tree stamp. And so let me show you exactly kind of how I did this. I inked up my stamp and I kind of stamped it. I wanted my tree line to be kind of off. Well, when I say off, I wanted one higher than the other. And I kind of want this tall tree to be seen because look at my card. Do you see how nice that looks when you can kind of see the tree and they're not all the same height? So that's what my goal is here. And remember, you might be thinking, oh my gosh, well, your one tree, he's kind of floating in space. Well, don't forget, we're going to put an Evening Evergreen piece right across the bottom. So you'll never even see that. It'll fit perfectly, okay? So I am just stamping my tree line in the background. So let me share with you how I was inspired by this card. So I actually created a card using the Harvest Nature stamp set using these colors, and I absolutely loved it. And so I pulled it out And I brought my team into my craft room and I said, okay, ladies, I love this card, but I'm thinking I want to do something Christmassy. And so together, we put our heads together, we changed the design just a little bit, and I will share that, that Nature's Harvest card with you on my blog post. So make sure you go over and check it out. So you can see, so you can see where we started and then how we got to where we're at. So, so we started kind of cutting the pieces and we were like, okay, well, if we did it the exact same way as the Nature's Harvest, then we would do this and that. It was so much fun and I couldn't believe it. Within 20 minutes, we had the most beautiful card that I was so proud to send to all of you. So I hope that you are enjoying it as much as we did creating it for you. So here's just a piece of basic white cardstock. This is going to be for my tree. So as you can see, when I do my multiples, I actually just do all the same pieces like at the same time, right? So if you just, you kind of stamp all the same things, all the like things at the same time, it just kind of, it just kind of helps the process. So you're not, starting out stamping and then you're going to glue stuff down and then you're going back stamping. So it's just kind of nice to kind of get that all done. And then you have all your ingredients to start putting your card together. So just stamp. And now the other thing you have to think of, depending on how juicy your stamp pad is, you definitely want to stamp that white and then maybe just kind of, don't necessarily stack them on top of each other. I try to offset them a little bit so they have a few seconds to dry. So this is the last one, so that's perfect. Now, since we're doing our stamping, we've got our stamping done, I'm going to set my stamp pad aside just for a second, and let's start putting together our card, all right? So here we go. This is fun. So you can do it one of two ways, and I think it just depends on your preference, really, right? It just kind of depends on how you want to do it. You can glue this piece straight to your card base and then add your evening evergreen. That's one way to do it. Another way to do it, which I find to be quite easy, is put a little bit of liquid adhesive on here and go ahead and glue it to here without having it on that card base, because then you can kind of tap it down and you get this perfect flush line here at the bottom, right? So then, I have just one piece, a fairly large piece, a soft, succulent piece that I can add straight to my card front. So that's how I like to do it. But again, all of our minds work differently, so it's entirely up to you how you might glue that onto your card base, okay? So we're just gonna kind of work through this. I'm very excited. I love this Regal Reindeer stamp set. I actually did a card for our Creative 8 retreat on one of the prior retreats using this set, and it just turned out so lovely. It was this really cool fun fold that kind of like flipped open. It was so much fun. Speaking of the Creative 8 retreat, registration is open, and for those of you that have registered with me and are going to join as a guest of BrandysCards, I'm super excited. I'm so excited to have you with us. It's going to be such a fun event. So thank you so much for joining us and for supporting our retreats and for registering with me or with one of the other Creative 8 leaders. We really and truly appreciate it, and it wouldn't be nearly as much fun if you all weren't there with us, right? That's what makes it fun, is our crafting community as we come together and do what we love, right? And share what we love. Pretty good stuff. Okay. So here we go. So I've got my last evening evergreen piece, and I am just kind of tidying it up, right? I love this green glue. I can wiggle it into place. I know I've told you guys that before, but I totally mean that. That green glue stuff is like awesome. Yeah, it's good, good, good. So here we go. I am going to just add that right to the center of my card front. And so again, just add a little bit of adhesive. Now, I'm thinking that I shared with you information about the Creative 8 retreat, but it didn't share information with you on how to register. Oh my goodness. I get talking and I have so much fun that I sometimes forget what I'm doing, so forgive me. If you're interested in joining us for the Creativate Retreat, it's actually a virtual retreat. That's an online stamping retreat. It's being held on January 13th and 14th. That's right, so it's Friday night. For 2 hours, you'll get 2 presentations and the tutorials. And then of course, we have the big event, or the remainder of the event, which is all day on Saturday. So, and of course, if you're not available for the retreat, if you're interested in the tutorials, you're still welcome to purchase it. You'll have access to the Creativate BrandysCards webpage for the retreat webpage, where you can go on anytime and watch the tutorials at your leisure and enjoy them. That's right. And then of course, if you have any questions, you can let me know. We do have the challenges. They just started on Monday. We post a new challenge leading up to the event. That's kind of like our way to get you excited and to dust off those crafting supplies. That's right. So that way you can get ready for some serious creating. So we're excited about that. Okay, so it looks like I've got 2 or 3 more of these, and then we're going to move on to the next portion of this. Of course, you're going to need some Stampin' Dimensionals. I can't do anything without some Stampin' Dimensionals, so make sure you have those available because you're going to need these. Absolutely. We definitely want to pop some of these things up. Okay, so we've got 1 more after this. And I'm just using my liquid adhesive. Of course, if you're a Stampin' Seal person and you like the tape runners, absolutely use those. That'll work. Okay. So here we go. We've got our card bases. There should be 10 here if I've counted correctly. And I'm going to set those aside for now. We're going to move on to the next portion. So the next portion I have here is I have a real red piece. And then I have a basic white piece that's going to mat our image. I actually really like, to have the image popped up using Stampin' Dimensionals. So what I'm planning to do, just so it's easier for me, because sometimes mounting white on white is definitely one of my favorite things to do, but sometimes it can be a little difficult, especially my desk is white. And so mounting it, getting it straight white on white is a little tricky, right? So if I put it on this red cardstock, then I have kind of this, I have a nice colorful background and I can sort of get that a little bit straighter in there when I put my dimensionals on. So I'm going to go ahead and just glue this piece straight down to the top of my real red cardstock. Now, if you're wondering where the sizes and the dimensions are, they're going to be on Brandy's Cards. Go to BrandysCards.com and you're going to click on blog, and right there you're going to see this tutorial. Now, if you're finding this video, maybe a couple months from when it went, when we posted it, well, all you have to do is go up to the search bar. You can type in their Regal Reindeer, right? Or you can type in their Christmas cards, and it should come up. Another sure place to find it is if you look in the navigational bar, you'll see a place that says videos. If you click on my videos, you'll definitely see a thumbnail of this fun card where you can just click on that and you can find the video that you're looking for, or any video. So they're all there. Yeah. So I have to tell you, I have loved receiving all of the Christmas cards I have gotten. Oh my gosh, I am excited. I plan on taking some pictures and sharing them with you. Y'all are so talented, and I am so blessed to be on this journey with you and to receive your cards. It's meant so much to me, and I can't thank you enough. I went to the post office the other day, and I could not believe the most beautiful cards that I received. So you guys are just putting so much good out in the world, and I appreciate being a part of that. Okay, so here's the last one, and then we're gonna move on to probably one of my favorite things. And you're like, okay, what's that? Yeah, I like to put dimensionals down. It is something that I like to do. And so I'm going to go ahead, and so these are our 10 trees. And so I'm going to put these out just like this, okay? And so I'm gonna just make sure that I'm in frame. And it's funny because when I do this, I actually like to kind of take it and sort of bend this guy a little bit. And I come in, and a lot of times, I will use both hands. But here we go, let's just see. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I think it just sort of depends. Depends on my mood and how well I can hold it together, right? So here we go. So you're gonna put some dimensionals on here. I find that, you know, you probably don't need as many. Just definitely one in each corner, one for sure in the middle. I actually have the basic white thick cardstock here, so I'm not too concerned about it drooping or sagging in the middle, especially because I have that basic white thick. That is like my new favorite cardstock, by the way. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. And I actually use it for a lot of my crafting now too. You know, even for some of the layer pieces, because I feel like it really makes the cards quite nice and sturdy. They feel substantial, right? So I do like it. Of course, the basic white is good as well, but it's quite nice. Okay, so while I finish putting these on here, for those of you who are a customer of Brandy's Cards and have placed an order within the last 12 months, you have a new spring catalog on its way. That's right, can you believe it? We are going to celebrate some of those spring holidays together, and I'm super excited. Those catalogs went out in the mail. So if you haven't already received it, just hang tight. I promise you it's on the way. Stampin' Up! Has promised us that they have shipped those catalogs. They do come from Riverton, Utah. And because they are sort of a discounted rate, that's right, it does take a little bit longer. But I promise you they're coming, and we still have lots of time yet before that spring catalog goes live. It goes live, I think, on January 5th. Of 2023. And I know many of you are like, oh, I'm ready to build my list. I'm getting excited. Well, you should be excited. There are some really great things to come. I know I'm excited too. Okay, so we have dimensionaled. We have gotten that part of it done. So let's go ahead and add that to the front of our cardstock. Okay, so we're just going to add that to the front of our cardstock and just put our tree in here. And you know, one of the nice things about kind of showing you this process, again, is just have all of your parts and pieces ready. Have all your stuff ready, so that way when you get ready to, you know, to start creating, you've got everything cut, everything's ready to go, and it makes the process so much easier. So that is my recommendation to you. You don't want to start cooking your cupcakes without your cupcake mix, right? That would not work out well. So it's the same thing here. It really is. All right, so here we go. We've got that part of it done. Now I'm going to bring in some of my, this is, oh my goodness, crumb cake. I couldn't say it. So I'm gonna stamp on my crumb cake, and honestly what I find, and I'm just gonna take time to do it, what I find is easier, and I actually do this when I'm making my multiples, is I kind of set all these little guys out, and then I just stamp on them. So stamp, and then I just kind of straighten it a little bit. I know probably in the camera you're like, okay, that did not look straight. But I am trying to avoid hitting my nose on my camera up here. So it actually was fairly straight with my head. And so this is quite easy to do. Now, here's a little tip. If you want to make a banner edge, you might have a triangle punch or something along those lines, right? That you can just go and choop, choop, and snip each one of those. I think when our one triangle punch that I used to use retired, I ended up letting mine go. So, rookie mistake, I should not have done that because now I have to cut my own banner edges, which, to be all honest with you, I don't much mind that either. Now you could see that I actually layered it up 3 pieces, and how quick and easy. I don't think I should do 4. 4 might be a little much, so let's just go ahead and do 2, and then we'll do 2 more, and that part of it will be done. Okay, so the next part of it is I like to wrap my sentiments around the image, and you're going to have to tack it on the back. So there's a couple ways you can do that. You know, you can do it with liquid adhesive, but what I found is the good old masking tape. Love my masking tape. So that's what I'm going to recommend, but if you want to take a mini glue dot, if you want to take liquid adhesive, you are welcome to do it however you would like, okay? I'm just going to show you how I did it. So I do like some dimensionals behind my sentiment. I feel like it gives it a little bit of lift off of my tree, so I did like that. So that's what I'm doing right now. And if you have a take your pick tool, that actually might be a little bit easier to kind of pull these backings off. Funny thing is I have mine right over here, but I am a creature of habit. And so I'm just so used to just working with my hands and just kind of going for it that I forget that I have this handy dandy tool over there. So I'm taking off my backings now for my dimensionals. I have my Scotch tape right here, and it's handy and available to me. And I'm going to put my sentiments down. So here we go. So I'm going to go through here. I'm going to put my sentiment, just make sure that I'm in frame. And so literally, this is what I'm going to do before I go any further, is I'm just going to add my sentiment right here to the front of my card. See, this is pretty easy, isn't it? You're like, yeah, that actually wasn't so bad. It's not, and it's so beautiful. And you know, this card would be even more beautiful if you added some Wink of Stella, or maybe you have some of our puff paint, you know, some of the puffy stuff that we had on the last chance list. Or maybe you add some iridescent pearls to kind of recreate that snow. So that would be pretty awesome too. All right, so that's all I'm doing is I am wrapping the sentiment. Push it back, wrap it, tape it. All right, push it back, wrap it, tape it. And so just kind of adding that, push it back, wrap it, tape it. And then you're gonna add it to the front of your card. And so see, it's just kind of, you know, whatever makes it easier for you. And again, I could totally put a Stampin' Dimensional right behind here. Yes, I could. Or I could put, not a dimensional, but like maybe a mini glue dot. But instead of doing that today, I just used some regular good old Scotch tape and just was like, okay, here we go, right? So check out that. Is that not so beautiful? Oh my goodness. And so that's exactly how I created those cards that I sent out to my customers, my friends, my family for the holiday season. Now, of course, you could stamp on your envelope. You could stamp on the inside of your card as well. There's so many things that you can do. But this is a fun, quick, and easy holiday card that you could stamp a message on the inside. There's so many possibilities, really. Just a lot of fun. And if you wanted to, you could incorporate some gold. You know, if you, instead of the real red, maybe you do a gold or a silver even. So there's lots of things that you can do. Now, if you're new to my channel and if you haven't done so already, I would love for you to subscribe so that you'll receive more of my videos or notifications when they post. If you're one of my current customers and subscribers, thank you. I'm so grateful for you, and I hope that you're enjoying my project and card for you today. Don't forget to click the like button, and I would love for you to leave me a message. I would love for you to leave a comment. Let me know how you're doing. And if you're enjoying my card today, and maybe where you're going to be celebrating the holidays. So fun. So fun. And I know for some of us, holidays are tough. We've lost loved ones, or folks that are really close to us. So my heart goes out to all of those who are struggling during this time as well. One thing I do know is that our card making and crafting is such a welcome distraction from a hard day and is such a blessing. So I hope that you can find some time to craft and send your cards to others. All right, so I know I think we're at our 20-minute mark. So that's okay. I'm gonna go ahead and show you exactly how I put my gems on my cards too. Yes, I'm not gonna leave this gemless. Yeah, we're gonna add our gems. So I just set them out like that. And I have my take your pick tool here. And I just go through and pull it up and set it down. And by kind of lining them up in this way, it's just a real quick bump, pick up, set it down, pick it up, and set it down. Pretty quick and easy. So that's exactly how I make 10 cards in 20 minutes. That is right. Oh, it's so much fun. I love the challenge, and I love the process. So there you are. There are your cards today. I hope that you love them as much as I do, especially those of you who've received one of these in person. I hope that you enjoyed it. And I don't think I wrote in those cards. So feel free to send that on to somebody that you want to let them know that you're thinking of them. Absolutely forward that on. That's why I don't write in those cards, because I want you to continue sharing the blessing of our cards and letting someone know that you're thinking of them. Now, before I go, I mentioned our new catalog. So this is our holiday catalog. It's getting ready to go. So if you want anything off that last chance list or potentially the clearance rack, make sure that you have a look. Things are selling out fast, and this thing expires on January 4th, 2023. So it's almost gone, but coming is the new spring catalog, which I told you about. Super excited. So if you have made a purchase with Brandy's Cards in the last 12 months, you were on the list. You should have even gotten an email from me. And if you're like, well, I'm not sure, just email me. I'd be more than happy to let you know. If you don't already have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, please go to BrandysCards.com/contact. BrandysCards.com/contact. Send me an email. Make sure you include your mailing address. Super important, so that I can send you some happy mail too. I love sending happy mail. It's one of my most favorite things to do. And for those of you that are a customer of Brandy's Cards, you know that. That is one of my most favorite things. It brings me lots of joy to shower you with the many blessings that I have received through my Stampin' Up! Journey. Now, some of you are going, okay, Brandy, you showed the spring catalog, but you didn't mention celebration. I know, it's coming. So this is going to be our only celebration of the year. One time, January and February, starting January 5th. For every $50 you purchase, you get to pick out a celebration item. If you spend $100, well, you can pick out a $100 item or two $50 items. It's kind of confusing. If you have any troubles, reach out, let me know. I'm happy to explain it. But it's awesome, and there's some really good stuff in there. I can't open it right now because it hasn't gone live. It'll go live on January 5th. But with your spring catalog, I'll also send you the annual catalog. If you don't have this big guy, he is available right now, and that celebration catalog. So many good things coming. Of course, it's hard to say goodbye to some of those holiday products, but I'm looking forward to, well, my husband would say creating with Daffodil Delight, Melon Mambo, and, and Pool Party, and Bermuda Bay. Those are my colors. Those are my people. So I just have a lot of fun, and I hope that that's what you're doing as well. Don't forget, the Creative 8 Retreat registration is open. If you're interested, reach out to me. You can go to BrandysCards.com/Creative8. There you can read all about the retreat and, of course, find the link to register. Each Creative 8 leader has their own unique link to register, and we do not share lists or information. So if you haven't done so already, I would love if you would register with me and be a guest of Brandy's Cards. Thank you so much for joining me today. Don't forget to click that like button if you haven't done so, and leave me a comment. Take care, everybody. God bless. Bye now.